As 40 days of mourning begin for the slain supreme leader of Iran, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, thousands have poured onto the streets of Iranian cities. Take a look.
In central Tehran's Engalab Square, grief was raw and public. Men and women wept openly. Some clutched portraits of Khamenei to their chests.
We are deeply mourning, but this heavy grief does not mean we have become weak. Rather, it makes us, the people, more resilient in the face of Iran's enemies.
We are ready to sacrifice our lives if necessary, but we will not give up a single inch of our country to Israel.
Iranian state television confirmed Khamenei's death after succumbing to the coordinated U.S.-Israeli strikes on Tehran. His killing has jolted the theocratic nation, with Iran's leaders even vowing for revenge.
The Supreme Leader was like a father to us, and it feels as though we have lost our own father. We call on the armed forces to give a decisive response to this aggression.
Slogans rolled through crowds, and similar images of mourning repeated across the country. In Shiraz, protesters marched shoulder to shoulder. Women took to the streets holding Khamenei's picture. Thousands came together for a mass gathering in Isfahan as well. Visuals show the crowd filling up the Imam Square. A starkly contrasting scenario unfolded near Tehran in Alborz province. A group of people were seen dancing in the streets of Karaj city. The crowd was celebrating the death of the supreme leader. Cheers and celebratory echoes were also heard in Tehran earlier, when reports of Khamenei's death had just begun to circulate, while both mourning and celebrations continue in Iran, as the entire West Asia stands on a knife edge, bracing for escalation. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
Dr. Kadira Pethiagoda is a geopolitics expert. He's now joining us live from London. Pethiagoda, it's good to see you, and thank you very much for your time. President Trump says that the new leadership in Iran wants to talk to him. He has agreed to hold talks with him, but a timeline has not been set. But on the other hand, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says that strikes in Tehran will escalate. The full strength of military deployed in Iran campaign continues. What do you think is the end game for Israel?
Well, I think the end game for Israel ideally would be either a regime change and possibly state fragmentation. So a regime change would involve either a complete state collapse, where you have no one in proper control of the military of Iran, or you have a Western-friendly, Israel-friendly regime taking its place. And state fragmentation would mean rival groups running different parts of Iran. And I think ultimately, from Israel's perspective, that's probably the best outcome, because you've seen them do similar things in Syria, where they try to not just change the government, but weaken the actual state, so that no matter who takes power in the future, it will pose no challenge to Israel.
Dr. Pethiagoda, as a geopolitics analyst, what do you think will happen in the coming future? Because when you talk about the politics of the region or the security of the region, there's talk about instability in the region, which may be festered and may continue for a long while. And then we are talking about the economy or the global economy, because things like the Strait of Hormuz have been closed by Iran. That could have an effect on the shipping lanes and the maritime domain. As a geopolitics expert, maybe you can deduce what should happen or what we should expect in the coming weeks.
Yeah, so this is a very historic moment, I would say. You have the potential for uprisings throughout the region in response to a major conflict. So in places like Bahrain, you saw people celebrating Iran's attacks on US bases. So there could be a lot of instability for the governments of the region. And this, like you said, it is a global conflict. It's economically a global conflict already, and it could become a strategic and military global conflict as well. So you've got the Straits of Hormuz being closed, massive economic damage on the way to a range of countries, so including states in the West, but also China. You've got Russia and China having a real interest in maintaining this government in Iran and not allowing Iran to collapse. And so it really depends a lot on the risk appetite of the leadership in Russia and China on how much they want to make Iran a red line, in which case we could even see things like China move on Taiwan during this period when the US is overextended in a bogged down long-term war in Iran.
Dr. Pethiagoda, stay with me because we have some developing and breaking news coming in our newsroom at this hour. I'll just read that breaking news to you and then I will go back to my guest. And this breaking news is from Israel. Israeli Defense Forces are mobilizing more troops. This is in line with ongoing military confrontation with Iran. Israeli military has confirmed that around 100,000 reservists have been called on duty. These personnel will be deployed on various fronts of Operation Roaring Lion. This is in addition to 50,000 reserved troops that are already on duty. Dr. Pethiagoda, like I mentioned, Netanyahu is adamant and clear that this campaign will continue. He's calling it the Roaring Lion operation. America is calling it the Epic Fury operation. But again, what will be the ramifications if this escalation persists?
Yes, as I said, it could become global. I think with the Israeli troops, I think that may be an indication of Iran activating its certain proxy forces in the region. So groups like Hezbollah have said they would get involved if the Ayatollah was killed. And so I think the Israeli troops may be a response to that. Netanyahu is actually obviously taking a very maximalist approach, which he may need because of his own legal issues, but it creates a lot of pressure on the Israeli government from the Israeli people, because if this continues, you saw 200 buildings already destroyed in Israel. The Israeli public might actually put pressure on its government to stop this. And yeah, we're in uncharted waters when it comes to the global economy, because we've never seen a shutdown like this in recent times. And we could see some real turbulence across the world in terms of governments losing power.
All right. I've been talking to Dr. Kadira Pethiagoda. He's a geopolitical expert. Doctor, thank you very much for your insights and for talking to us today.
Thank you.